Oh, Ebro in the morning, we're bugging out already because our friend, somebody we've seen come a long way here, Laura Stiles Rosenberg, has been a part of his musical distribution, if you will, bringing it to the people.
Distribution.
From Chicago. Give it up for Vic Mensa, ladies and gentlemen. What up? On the show. Now, last time I saw you, was some time ago, you had, I think it was your first mixtape. What was the name of the first joint?
I don't remember. What was it?
Internet Tape.
Internet Tape, that's right. And a lot of the young girls, Brittany Sky, Deani D, we used to do this thing called New Music, the Music Me, I forget what it's called, some shit like that. Battle of the Beats, there you go.
That was it was your thing.
Fam, listen,
it's a long time. A lot's happened.
And they was big. They was all about Vic Mensa. Vic Mensa tape just dropped. Vic Mensa, and so we've seen you come a long way, bro. Now you got a record with Kanye West. Is that just a Chicago thing, or was there a relationship before this record happened?
We had a relationship before this record, because I worked on a record of his called Wolves, and did some more just working on his album, and but this was one of the records that I played for him around the time when we were working on his shit, and he, really liked it and kind of gave me some direction on where to take it, and shit, One time he mentioned he might hop on it. I was like, I'm gone.
Hold you to that.
Right.
So the record was already, how far along was the record before he jumped on it?
I had, the horns and the general beat and all that was it is.
These horns.
Yeah, the Shrek joints. The Shrek joints.
The Shrek horns, as Ebro calls them. So, because
the hood Shrek joints.
Now, here's the thing that I find very interesting about You Mad is that, Ebro, let's call a spade, right?
That sounds racial.
I know. You always say that when I say it, which is kind of why
it does,
is.
right? It sounds racial, right? Like, who you talking to, my G?
Who you calling a spade, brother?
No, I like trolling you to say that phrase. Anyways, but let's call it like it is.
Yeah.
Ye has had a bit more of a struggle this time around finding that leaked single that really resonated.
Okay.
And truth be told, You Mad is the one that has resonated the most of anything that's come out. Ebro, do you agree with that assessment?
I do. But that was the emotion I felt when you said it. I was like, oh, you in trouble. Kanye coming for you, my G.
No, is it something like, can you tell that Ye's excited about the record too? Like, you could feel the energy of the song.
Yeah, we were in Chicago this past week, and Kanye came out to the South Side and performed this song with me for, like 300 Chicago high school kids, and it was crazy.
Yeah, what is that event? It's like Chance has like some sort of thing for kids?
This joint he does called Open Mic. It's like commemoration of a dude we had named Brother Mike, who, was one of our early mentors in this rap stuff, and he passed away. So, at this point in time, I remember when he passed away, telling a bunch of kids at the service that since he's gone now, it's our collective responsibility to put all of each other on, in the way that he put us on and shit. Can I curse right now?
Yeah, you can go. Right? It just happened, by the way. You know it already happened.
Yeah. The curse already happened.
If you was in trouble, I'ma tell your mommy, Charlie.
We need that Kids Bop. We need that Kids Bop remix ASAP.
So, talk about Chicago, because obviously for a long time it's been the music's forefront. Tons of music has come from Chicago, but also more recently, Chirac and the murders and the violence and Cabrini Green getting knocked down and dispersing people all over the city and just everything that sociologically speaking Chicago's been going through. Right? Are you seeing any progress? Are the kids seeing any progress now that it's the microscope has really been put on the city by artists, really by the music scene?
Actually, I believe that 2014 had the lowest recorded murder rate for a while. So I think there's progress being made for sure. A couple years ago it was like really, really, really the wave was to be a shooter, and that's not as cool right now. Even if you look at the the main dudes that were kind of like pushing that angle musically, their music is a little bit less of that than it was then.
A lot of that was came from that drill music scene. It was pretty aggressive.
And a lot of those guys, they still doing their thing, and they still telling,
and them dudes live that life.
Right, they're still telling what's their true story, their true experience. But You know, I mean, somebody like Lil Durk, you know, you listen to Lil Durk's music now, it's like Lil Durk has evolved musically since when it all first happened, you know? And I think that just the trend is being less and less to kill each other.
Yeah. Do you see yourself, and I don't know because I don't know all of your stuff, but other collaborations that Vic Mensa would like to see coming out of Chicago, right? I mean, obviously Kanye West and you collaborate is huge. Is there anybody else out of that scene that you see yourself like, yo, we got to work together?
I got a record with my homie Tokyo. That's my brother. I got a crew called Save Money in Chicago. Tokyo just released a project called Wave Theory, you know, like a week ago. So, you know, we got some collabs, Leather Corduroys, we got some collabs. We just dropped a song yesterday, me and my dudes, Leather Cords. It's called Have You Ever. We need to get that to y'all one of these days. You want to try to figure that out, money?
Get it to me. Let's do it.
Yeah.
What about more with you and Chance? Where's the Chance relationship? This is obviously Ebro. I'm gonna fill you in. This is gonna be the relationship to watch. Is the Vic Mensa Chance the rapper
Tell us why.
relationship? Because they came up together.
Okay.
A lot of people would always be like, "Oh, Vic, you sound like Chance the rapper," when really they both just sound like each other because they came up. Exactly.
Don't want to talk about it.
So really, they came up together, and they've been associated for a long time. But they're both blowing up, sort of in their own ways.
Didn't mean those horns that time.
I know you didn't need the Shrek horns there, but both Chance and Vic have been blowing up, sort of on your own, but you know, randomly affiliated. So where do things stand with you and Chance? Will we get more Chance the rapper, Vic Mensa music?
Yeah, we've been in the studio, son, you know, in Chicago. We were in the studio not too long ago. That's my family, man. That's my brother, you know. We were just together doing this shit that I'm talking about at the high school last week. And, you know, we always just like building and trying to figure out how to push shit further and change stuff.
Now, you guys went different routes, though. Obviously, Chance is notoriously
Yeah.
the no-label dude. That's what Chance has become. Like, he's this guy who hasn't
And no
signed.
album yet either.
Yes, and also no album. Not yet. But he's obviously still has a lot of hype. People really into him. He has some big moments out there. You went a different route. I mean, you can see, there you go, Periscope. You can see that huge Rockefeller tattoo on his neck.
He was like, y'all don't want your chain, my G. Let me get that tat.
So why the Roc Nation? Why the Roc Nation decision? I mean, it seems obvious, but why for you was it the right move?
It was the right move for me because, you know, after doing so much on my own, I felt like if I was going to partner with a company, I wanted to be, you know, doing something that to me was more than just a record label and was people that I really connected with on a personal basis and, you know, felt like we're forward thinkers and just outside of the box. And that's what The Roc is, you know, as a company. It's like, it's a lot like a motto that I'd like to follow with my own company, Save Money, you know. It's just a lot of people that built something kind of from a ground up point of view and, you know, kept it real the whole time.
How much interaction did you have with Hove in getting to the spot?
I've talked to Hove a lot, you know, up to this point and before the deal as well. You know, I think that was, you know, most important to me was to really be able to connect with him and try to gauge his, you know, his real feelings about this shit.
I saw Lenny S posted an Instagram post. Did you see that? A whole story on how you guys met and like how the first time he was like, how you weren't really like sweating the whole Roc Nation thing, and he was like, "Well, who is this guy?" Did you read that, Vic?
Oh yeah, I read it.
At the beginning, and then he's like, because at the end he was like, "Yo, I was so glad finally that everything came together." But when I was reading, it was a cute story. I was like, "Oh my god."
Lenny S is my man, man. Shout out to Lenny S.
We saw him at the Barclays a couple weeks ago, right before it went down, and he seemed very excited about.
Yeah.
So they seem excited.
Lenny's my guy, man. You know, Lenny got my back. That's my dude for real.
What do you think about Ebro?
I'm just going through Vic Mensa's gram.
What are you looking at on the Vic Mensa?
I ain't even been on the gram lately.
Pictures of Vic and Vashti.
Oh, really? Is
What's
that
up?
where you going? You trolling for a Vic? You always trolling for a Vashti story.
What's up, Ashley? Mm-hmm. What it do?
I'm not always trolling
He's
for
nice.
Vashti. I just saw a picture of Vic and Vashti. What do you want from me?
No, I thought we had someone recently and you asked about that. Maybe I made that up.
No, you.
Maybe I'm trolling for
You
Vic-
troll for
Vashti
Vashti.
stories.
Yeah.
I love Vashti. She's dope.
Yeah, no, I was actually trolling through his gram looking for, you know, because as a young man as Vic Mensa is, he's popping out here.
Yeah,
Right?
hell yeah, he is. And by the way, someone on Periscope wants to know if you'll be at the Tokyo show this Saturday in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm back in that bitch. Fuck with me.
Beep, beep. That was aggressive.
That's what's going on,
That was
right?
aggressive.
Yeah, I'll definitely be at Tokyo show, man. That's tomorrow, right? I'm there.
Someone said they love Down on My Luck and Orange Soda,
Sweet.
which is a great song.
Periscope. What is this shit that y'all are all
Periscope
on
is
right now?
another picture of Vic Mensa and Vashti.
Okay.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect two.
You did that surprised
Why?
you?
He doesn't have any other photos or any other girls on his Instagram?
Nope.
Well, Vashti's Mage. She's not just some random chick. That's Vashti.
And yet, no, I'm kidding.
No.
Trying to lie to the third.
Look, he's playing it cool. I respect it. I had to just do a little research on you. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the right thing. Vashti is a young lady I've known since she was very, very young. She's a great girl. Like, we have all respect for her. So, you should too, sir. If I had any funny business out there, you know what I'm saying?
Pops.
Basically.
Yeah, but why can't they go on? Maybe they be going on dates. You know what
You know what I'm saying? Don't let me run the horns.
Talk about it.
So, can you talk to us about your music, how you see music in your mind? You obviously MC, you make dope music, but you've also done dance records or EDM records. There's pictures of yourself in Skrillex, right?
Yeah.
For hip hop for you and music for you, where does Vic Mensa? Are you bridging that gap? It's happened before. Rocky did a Skrillex record. We've seen other things, but are you bridging that gap? That EDM hip hop, is that where you want to see things going in music?
Me and Skrillex actually kind of made a rap record. It's me, Skrillex, and Jalil Beats.
Wow.
Tough.
So that shit's just really cool. But I mean, in general, I'm not so much like setting forth to bridge a gap between like rap and EDM. I just think that I've been saying that hip hop is the only genre that we require to stay stagnant, and it has to be called hip hop forever. Like what you were calling rock and roll in '91 is not the same as what you were calling it, as what we're calling it now, what we're calling it 10 years before that. You've had so many countless subgenres spin off of everything but hip hop. Hip hop is just like, it's gotta be hip hop or hip hop is dead. Yo, you kill hip hop. Yo, hip hop's dead. That's why the game's fucked up. That's why I don't even really release mixtapes
You
anymore.
weirdo rappers
shit.
is fucking everything
These weirdo
up.
rappers is fucking up the game. Man.
Well, you know what? It's
Let the
funny you
game
say that
be.
because here I go. Mantronics and Soul Sonic.
Your favorite subject.
Well, no, because I had this debate too,
Mantronics.
because a lot of people do want to say that hip hop is only one thing, and I come from a place where hip hop was mad shit. Queen Latifah made house records, right? Like, MCs did a tons of different shit, and hip hop has always been that cross-sectional music that pull from jazz, pull from rock, pull from blues, pull from R&B, pull from house
It's
music.
built off sampling. So
So it was like anything. It didn't have a rule.
Right.
So I don't subscribe to the idea that hip hop has to sound one way.
Right.
I subscribe to the idea that hip hop, if you rhyming over a beat or sampling or DJing or any of those art forms, that's hip hop to me, right? But there is a segment of hip hop that's this 90s golden era, has to sound boom bap rap hip hop shit, which I don't necessarily subscribe to at all. And I appreciate you musically going out there. What was the record we was playing the shit out of?
Down on my
Down
luck.
on my luck.
Down on my luck. There was a
I
sample in
appreciate
that.
your support on that, man. For real.
So,
No, there wasn't a sample in that.
It had like an interpolation.
It had like an interpolation of I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want them to like.
Yeah, no, there's no point.
good point.
Okay, but when last time I saw you, I ran into you I ran into Vic in London, and I mentioned Down on My Luck, and you seemed like very like.
You was out here balling.
Yeah.
Yo, I ran into Peter Rosenberg. He
We was
had
out
20
shit.
bitches.
Yeah, it was
But
crazy.
why was he frustrated?
So
over Down on My Luck?
you seemed generally frustrated with that, like there was weird shit related to Down on My Luck. It didn't get on iTunes fast enough. We all thought.
Right. Yo, Vic, when I
Yeah,
first
she was
heard the
asking me every
record,
day. She was like, "I just want to buy Down on My Luck. Why
was
can't
like,
I buy Down on My
Why can't
Luck?"
I buy it? I just want to buy the record.
So even though you were annoyed by it, can you give people a little bit of an understanding of what happened with Down on My Luck?
A lot of people in a lot of places like Down on My Luck. We put it out. He put it out in the UK, and some things took a little longer than I would have liked them to. But honestly, I'm happy that everything's worked out how it's worked out to this point today. Because I have more music that's more representative of me and where I'm going and what I'm trying to do than Down on My Luck. Down on My Luck was cool. It was something that I just kind of did as a one-off.
But it could make people think that you were something different.
It was people like, hitting me up to do mad sessions with like dance producers. And I'm over here at dance festivals and stuff like that. I got one dance song, and the rest of the shit, I feel like I'm screaming at people. Because motherfuckers is waiting for the beat to drop. And
Yeah,
like,
like, ain't no
I'm like,
drop.
yo, my shit dropped after the 4-bar intro. Like,
There's not a video yet for You Mad, huh?
Video on the way.
Kanye's in the video.
Yeah.
Not shot. You guys haven't shot it yet.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh, you did shoot it, so it's editing and getting that whole thing
Yeah,
together.
it's coming ASAP.
What can we expect in the music video? Anything you want to tell us about the video to get us prepared?
Man, the video is crazy. I don't want to give it away, but I brought my gang out to LA, you know, and we want to do something special. So the video is really dope. I think it's important to, like, you know, keep shit fresh with the visuals. It's a very integral aspect of what I do. So that's just about to be dope.
You were on
did that
SNL
with
40.
Kanye.
That was dope.
I didn't
Yeah.
see it.
SNL 40 was crazy, man. It was so.
That was when Kanye was laying on the floor with the lighting in
superstars
front of his
there,
face.
Yeah.
They were all laying on the ground on like some weird.
He was making weird moves and shit, you know, but kind of doing some next stuff.
What was
shit.
the best selfie you got? You get any good selfies that day? You pull anyone? You pull like Chevy Chase into a selfie or anything?
You know what I missed was I was standing in the hallway just like talking to my shorty, and Bill Gates walked by and like bigged me up, and I didn't really notice. I didn't know what was going on.
Yo, you
So-
played Bill Gates?
So then he talked to him, you know what I mean? And,
You had your manager talk to him.
And then he was like, yo, that nigga, that was Bill Gates. Just, you know, I tried to run back to go find him, and like the opportunity was gone, but he was fucking with us. Dave Chappelle was fucking with us too. That was the dopest to me because Dave Chappelle is like my favorite comedian of all time and shit.
And was he's very heavy on the blogs, like he knows what's going on. Like was he aware?
His kids too though. He's got an older son that's kind of.
Yeah, I've heard he's
The
very
older son
aware.
that was younger.
Yeah, he's
Back
like
in the day?
10, yeah, he was younger. Now he's like 13, 14, something like that.
Daddy, Nick Cannon is hilarious.
Exactly.
So Vic, is Kanye, when you work with Kanye and Kanye's like, listen, we're gonna lay on the floor and this lighting is gonna just like what was it? What do you think? Like, you're Kanye West. I know it's gonna be dope. Like, you just fuck with it. Like, or is there?
I thought it was mad cool. I mean, you know, you get so many people getting on a Saturday Night Live stage. It happens every week, and it's usually pretty much the same. And so to see how Kanye put his shit together, you know, mind you, the entire thing came to fruition within like 2 days. Like him deciding he
Because
wanted
I hear
to
he
do
just
it.
comes up with shit and he's like, yo, I want to do it.
Yeah,
And
he's like, yo, let's do it. Okay, let's figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was really dope. When he brought the ceiling down, I was like, okay, he just changed this into some whole avant-garde like art shit. And you know, it was fresh, man. It just be changing things in platforms that
dope.
have been the same for a long time.
when you go into the studio with somebody like Ye, does he? You say he gave you a lot of ideas when you worked with him on Wolves, right? Like he was like, yo, go in this direction. Is that like Sonics, or is that like an overall vision for how you could fit in the game? What is that conversation like?
I think one of Kanye's biggest strong suits and talents is being able to utilize talented people. You know, so when he played me the music and you know, asked me to write to Wolves and, you know, work on it, he didn't tell me what to do. He just fucking played it and said, you know, he wants to hear what you have to say, because it's like Kanye can make what Kanye's gonna make, you know. And he brings other people's perspectives into the picture, and I think that's why his paintings are so thorough.
It's interesting. That's dope too, though.
The other day I was having a conversation with Rick Rubin.
I
And,
fuck with Rick
I would just let that. I was gonna let that just chill.
Rubin. Right.
And no,
Well, go a step further.
the other day when Rick Rubin invited me over to his studio to hang out and chat.
Chat about.
Well, wrestling mostly, but we also talked about music, and we started talking about Yeezus because I was at Shrimbrula where Yeezus was recorded, and he was saying, I was like, man, I miss Ye on the actual MPC and the ASR, like actually producing. And Rick Rubin was like, so do I. He was like, I tell him, like, I push him to get on the machine as much as he can. He was like, but Kanye is really no different now than he used to be, except back in the day he was sampling records, and now he can pull from just artists. It's the same concept.
And that's basically what you're saying.
He always
Yeah.
orchestrates. It's just a matter of whether he was orchestrating from old soul records or having someone like Vic Mensa be like, yo, do this. And it's the same.
Or do something and let me turn it
And
into
I'll
something
flip it.
else.
Right.
That's what they do, you know. Is they just like, he's a maestro who's also obviously very skilled at each specific piece of making a song, but you know, he's able to use other people's talents so much to his benefit.
Yeah, he's special.
That's dope. Well, I wanted that little
Cool
tidbit
guy,
from you,
man.
and I really appreciate you, man.
No doubt, man. I got you, man.
Is your real last name Mensa?
Yeah.
Really?
He's lying to you. His last name is not Mensa.
He's lying to you.
Who's lying to
liar?
you?
That's crazy. Right? What's he
You're
gonna do? Yeah, my pops is Ghanaian. Shout out to all the Africans out there. And Mensa is like a Ghanaian last name.
Dope.
I don't need y'all either.
Thank you, Vic Mensa.
Thank you, bro.
Don't wanna talk